Nara Orun Bobo Orisha for another day to bask in the goodness of Onile's sacred earth. Every day given is very special, and here are a few details, cosmic details, pertaining to how. I'm Ayansa JT Muse, and this is your early rising or your evening settling mystic forecast. Ekule, or good evening to you. It is 19 minutes past your 9 o'clock hour. Sorry for the CP time, but it's time for your nightly mystic forecast. I am broadcasting from my YouTube channel, my Thursdaily Instagram and Facebook page, the 222.9 The Mothership Facebook page, my Instagram live at Ichings and Scarlet Serenes, and of course, cruising over the airwaves of 222.9 The Mothership Internet Radio. And if you're listening from there over your Androids, over your iPhones, or anything with your Bluetooth in your cars, desktops, in your offices, studios, anywhere you need to be on that higher spiritual level, you are listening to the sounds of Carlos Santana with Europa. Ibashe Shango today venerated the Orisha Shango in many traditions, as well as being ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion. In the book of Genesis, the Thursday is day 4 of the week. And that was the day that I believe the animals were created and told to be fruitful and multiply. And Shango is the spark of male seduction, isn't it? And that brings forth the seed fertilizes all that grows. See the divinity in that? Oh, yes. Ibashe Ojobo in the Yoruba tradition, that is expansion. Bo means expansion, the Yoruba day for Thursday, and that lines right up with Jupiter being Thursday's planetary ruler. The name Thursday got its day of the week name from the Greek god Thor, which was a Xerox of who? Shango. Absolutely. So here on 222.9 The Mothership, we venerate the divine father energy, the fiery father, the fires of Shango, all in the mystic groove here on 222.9 The Mothership. It brings about fire starter musicians like Prince, Smokey Robinson, Bootsy Collins, Sly and the Family Stone, Michael Jackson, the P-Funk. Y'all know what I mean. So, we celebrate the Divine Fathers in that manner on Thursdays after we started off at midnight with Sacred Chakra Sleep Meditations, along with the Rising Bimbe to Shango at 7 a.m. I'm going to give you a quick look at what you missed today and what you got to catch next Thursday here on 222.9 The Mothership. I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back, we're going to talk about what's so special about this Thursday in particular. I'm Mayansa J. Muse, and this is your nightly Mystic Forecast. Thursday's Red's Jupiter expansion, Ichis, sensual voices of the fathers, sacral chakra healing, Ibashe Shango, Ibashe Dada, Ibashe Aganju. Welcome to Thursdays on the Mothership, 222.9, Beam Up. Thursday, prelude to the weekend. More relaxed energies creep in. Higher expanding thoughts by Jupiter's hand. Double-sided acts just relax the taxing last 3 days. Day 4 maximizes love today. Your own way as the energies sway, making way for the risen vibrations from yesterday. Pay tomorrow for many. Make a wish, toss a penny for plentiful blessings. To return expanded like fire. Thursday, prelude to the weekend. And I answer J. Muse, short poem. And we're back. So in case you're just now joining us, I'm Mayasa J. Muse, the Black Madonna of the airwaves, and the sole creator of 222.9 The Mothership, bringing you your nightly mystic forecast. It is Thursday, baby, the prelude to the weekend, June 29th, 2023, with the day vibrating on a 24/6. So that's why tonight's forecast is titled Double Shango. Why? Because in Ifa Orisha tradition, Thursday venerates the Orisha Shango and many lineages, and the number of the daily vibration is a 6, which is one of Shango's sacred numbers. So, summer is heating up, Shango ain't playing. So since double Shango energy came up, let me drop you a couple of jewels about the Orisha Shango. Yes, the typical popular depiction of Shango is the sexy man that no woman can resist. The original Don Juan, the men hold on to your wives kind of energy, right? Kind of. Because each Orisha has balances and imbalances, and the Patakis tell these stories. Metaphysically, or in a way that's practically applied, Shango energy represents the spark, the fire of transformation, the fire that's needed, the passion of change. That change can be for the better or change can be for the imbalanced. He's the fire that transforms. Just as you set anything on fire, it transforms into ash. But when you return that ash to the earth, it's the nutrient to grow something new. This is another little secret about Shango people and why they are so close to the Orisha or Sayin, or nature. Just saying. So Shango represents the fire you need to transform, and that's why he works so well with the Orisha Oya. Tonight, the moon is waxing in the 8th house of Scorpio. So with the moon increasing, and we're in crab season, so that's more moon energy increasing. And Scorpio is a fixed water sign. So this is a time to really explore your deepest emotions about things. Because with Jupiter's expansive energy, we expand things both intentionally and subconsciously. So with our subconscious minds deeply aligned with what our emotions are, we can get a more clearer view on where we're headed physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Because the thing about fixed water is when it sits too long, it can start to get murky. But when you move those waters around and explore them, then your underwaters become clear. And Scorpio represents deep, deep water. So don't be afraid to dive deep into the waters of yourself. I'm Ayansa J. Muse, and this is your nightly mystic forecast. Ashe. Reds, vivid red oranges, I Ching readings, Ayansa's glass gourd bottle art, fire-inspired handmade healing stone jewelry, books, digital prints, personalized oils and baths, scarlet serene articles, and online courses, and other mystic oddities. It's all inside the Mothership Mystic Boutique, the Jupiter Collection. Shh. calm. We're in the stacks, the books, the library. The books are but an evolved version of the woods because, like the trees, they hold much wisdom, only this time in printed form. Reading is good for your spirit and your mind, so let's take a literary journey. One book at a time. Let's explore. Yes, oh yes, the mothership has a built-in library that I like to call the Stacks. Welcome. And we're back. Thank you for joining me for tonight's forecast. We are still in the first decade of crab season until July 1st. So that's a double scoop of 100% moon energy. So that's going to deal with a lot of nurturing, a lot of aligning. And the first person you got to nurture is yourself, especially all of you healers out there. Because we can take care of everyone else and forget to be our own best client. Not good. And those of you who are just joining us, I'm my Auntie J Muse, the Black Madonna on the airwaves, bringing you the mystic, the music, and the mojo on her own self-created 24/7 radio station, 222.9 The Mothership. Beam up. I created this station so that everyone anywhere in the world can tune in and get something to feed your spirit without a cost. Just listen to it like you would any other radio station and let your spirit consistently be fed. That's right. And also to align you with the grooves and to preserve the genius of old school black music, because baby, ain't nothing like it. If you were born on today, you have an alert mind and you think deeply. If you are forceful and determined and have good sound judgment, you are uncommunicative. You are uncommunicative. Is that a word? Do you? There's a block in the communication here. And you have a quick and violent temper, but love with the same impulsiveness and intensity. To be completely happy, you need someone on whom you can lavish your affections. Okay, still waters run deep for those that were born on June 29th. Still in that first decan, that double moon energy. We just entered the season of Anubis in the Kemetic way of the stars, and in the African way of the stars, we're still in the season of the ancestor until July the 5th. Let's talk about these planets, shall we? Tomorrow, Neptune goes into retrograde. There's lots of things you can do to prepare because it's the planet that's the higher octave of Venus. So it carries a lot of Yamaja or Lokun energy. Those of you that practice Ifa or Risha tradition, then that would be a good time to do some prayers or a small adimu to be divinely guided through this retrograde. Yamaja rules the meditative state of mind. And Neptune is the planet of creativity, spirituality, divine compassion, and dreaminess. Everybody, until December 6th, be prepared to be patient with those born under the zodiac house of Pisces. Because their planet is in retrograde, and that's going to call everyone, but Pisces most of all, to be mindful of delusionism. Stay grounded to avoid escapism. Stay connected to the earth, nature, loved ones, practicality to keep from, going into a state of full disconnection. Because isolation and disconnection can make delusion very easy. Keep an eye on your vices and reassess your dreams. And what keeps your dreams from being delusional? Staying grounded in the day to day activities to keep them in consistent manifestation. Currently, Pluto is in retrograde. Went in on May 1st, comes out on October 11th. subtle of retrogrades. Embrace the transformations, especially that the ones that come when we deep with it, when we deal with the deep emotions that Neptune's gonna bring when it goes into retrograde tomorrow. Close those old chapters and end those old relationships. The trickster planet of Saturn is also in retrograde, so let's be easy with the Capricorns and Aquariuses until November 4th. Focus on important life lessons and embrace those deeper crossroads. Keep your priorities in check and really examine what's valuable to you in your life. There are rewards for self mastery in this, and Saturn in retrograde calls us to higher levels of self discipline and deep self expression. So that's about all that's going on in the quasars right about now. There will be more updates on planetary alignments each and every night on the forecast. Stay tuned, and when I come back, we're going to do your nightly I Ching read. Ashe. Oh, yes. It's about that time. When the hour is good and late, when solitude may not be such a good thing, it's time to go deeper inside the many visions of what love looks like. The most powerful force of it all, love, the spark that makes life worth living. Love, that thing we all want and need. Love, one potent drop will send you to your knees. Love, we try to make rules where there aren't any. Love, I could go on and on forever, like we want our love to last. Love, it takes all and quarantines nothing. Love, so addictive in its many forms. Love, high, low, above, over, under the norm. Oh, don't be shy, 'cause somewhere down the line, we're all about that life. So join me on weeknights at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time for a love-filled, lovely musical wind-down, a deeper look inside what love looks like. Slow jams, blue lights in the basement kind of love, the kind that creates generations. Only on your mystic musical haven on the airwaves, 222.9, The Mothership. Beam up. I Ching readings, like many forms of divination, are just like peach cobbler. You may have tried other people's, but you've never had mine. Trigrams, hexagrams, revelations, pros, cons, changes, ancient Chinese oracle. I Ching readings by Ayansa JT Muse, brought to you by the Mothership Mystic Boutique. If you're hearing this over Mothership airwaves, then visit the 222.9 The Mothership's Facebook page for links to book your appointment. If you're seeing this online, then click the link in the comments section to schedule your appointment. Ashe. And we're back. So in case you're just now joining us, I'm Ayansa J. Muse, bringing you your nightly mystic forecast on your Jupiter ruled Sango venerated Thursday. Taking a second to hydrate there before we get into tonight's I Ching read. Now, on Thursdays, I like to read the I Ching because the I Ching is an oracle of changes, and Shango is the fire that transforms. Now, those of you that are listening over to 22.9, the mothership's airwaves, are listening to the sounds of Carlos Santana, some real fiery energy for your Thursday evening. And those of you that are watching get the benefit of seeing the I Ching. Well, those of you that are listening will just have to imagine or something. It'll work out. So, tonight's I Ching came from hexagrams 40 and 38. So, let's start with hexagram 40. And hexagram 40 is release. If nothing could bind you, where would you go? If money didn't exist, what would you be doing with your life? Are you absolutely sure that you have to do everything you were told you have to do? And if so, who told you so? What advice are you taking from people? Because people only know how to lead you to where they are. To release is to liberate, to solve problems and untie knots. The first step towards release is a move southwest, no longer battling on to pursue the mission, but going back to your roots and reconnecting with home and allies. You know what that sounds a lot like? That sounds a lot like let go and let God. Sometimes we're wrestling so hard with things that are out of our control. But when we dig our roots in deeper, we're like them trees that cannot be moved until it's time to. What's pulling on us? There's a good question. And is it a direction you want to be pulled in? And if your path has no destination, that's when it's time to reground. So to put that in practical terms, release everything that doesn't speak to who you really are. Everything that doesn't speak to the God in you. Everything that doesn't speak to your divine mission. Anything that gives your spirit turmoil. Allow yourself to let go. Now, only two lines changed in this I Ching reading, and that was line 1 and line 6. Now, each time a line changes in an I Ching hexagram, it has a different aspect or a different angle of the change that can go about. So, with line 1 changing in hexagram 40, it represents change, what's involved, and what's needed. And with that said, line 1 changing in the hexagram release symbolizes what is involved in what you are needing to release. What does that mean? The simplest, most fundamental beginning to release is that there is no blame to attribute. Sometimes things are just not meant to happen, or you're trying to rush something to happen ahead of its divine timing. If you find yourself in the weaker or the more vulnerable position, or you find yourself with more losses than gains, it's okay to retreat in order to re strategize. That goes over to line 6 to get to hexagram 38. And it says shooting the hawk releases tension in the bowstrings, dealing directly with something ominous. It looms over you and it releases tension in the situation and puts good use to tense energy. Now, ominous and things that are inevitable aren't always something bad. They're actually something good because for some people who have sacrificed and have been long suffering throughout their lives, the blessing to come is inevitable. The trick is being open to receiving. And that shifts over to hexagram 38. And hexagram 38 speaks to opposing. Opposing describes differences, opposites in perspective, like last night's tarot card of polarity. And this isn't just talking about opposing as in external enemies, but let's talk about opposing as in how we oppose ourselves. Where do we find ourselves at odd within? And that's where we create that balance. In small affairs, This kind of difference means the view of good fortune, which means when you have more than one perspective, you can have more than one victory. So when you find yourself facing opposing forces, fight for an understanding as opposed to fighting to be right. I'm Mayansa J. Muse, and this is your nightly mystic forecast. And when I return, we will give a heads up for what's to come on tomorrow, your Venus ruled Oshun venerated Friday. Ashe. 16 years ago to this date, 2021, my radio journey had just begun. And my first radio show was titled The Bamboo Lounge.
Yeah, I'm laying low with Ivory T in the Bamboo Lounge. This is Andre 3000, one half of Outkast. We love y'all. Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Felton Pilot, and you're here with me inside the Bamboo Lounge with Ivory T.
All right, well, I'm here. Are you there? Good. We are now meeting in the Bamboo Lounge with Ivory T. As always, it's your boy, Cat Williams.
Yo, what it do, man? It's your boy, Flipper, man. Right now, I'm inside the Bamboo Lounge with sexy Ivory T. And I mean sexy. Already.
Hey, this is Marcus Johnson, and you're listening to Ivory T and the Bamboo Lounge.
Hi, this is Yolanda Adams, and you're chilling in the Bamboo Lounge with Ivory T.
This is Ivory T, the smooth operator, your host with the most, and you're listening to the Bamboo Lounge Workdays. 16 years later, I bring my first Cosmic Jam session full circle. So join me on weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time for the return of the Bamboo Lounge, Planet Soul. The Bamboo Lounge features classic, old school, throwback, independent tunes of many genres, new rotations, all designed to enhance your space, be it your home, be it your office, your car, or your earbuds and your smartphones on the go. So join me on the Bamboo Lounge Planet Soul from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on your mystic musical haven on the airwaves, 222.9 The Mothership. Beam up. And we're back. So before the break, we recap Thursday, and we just got out of your Thor's Daily I Ching read. And those of you that would like to get an I Ching read, feel free to pick the apple off my link tree and take a bite, because that link is on there. So now that we've recapped Thursday, let's talk about Friday. Did you enjoy what you found within I Chings and Scarlet Serenes? Then you'll love it when we sweeten it up a bit with some honey, love, and war paint. Your Fridaily blog about love at www.poeticallymused.org/sweet sacred honey gourd. That's POETICALLY.org/SWEETHoneyGourd. Why don't you meet me there tomorrow? Ashe. What y'all know about that holy love? Ooh. That's what's going on Friday, though. The day will vibrate on the 16-7, and then the numbers of Ifa. 16 is the number of Orunmila, 7 is the number of Yamaja and Ogun. Biblically, 7 is the number of completion, and 7 is just an all-around holy and divine number. And it comes on your Venus-ruled Oshun venerated Friday, and it is the day that Neptune pulls it back and goes into retrograde on her ruling day, hovering over her little sister Venus's head. So let's not get too uncompassionate, but those of you that are energy leeches, this is not going to be a good time for you, because divine compassion is going to be on a drawback until 12/6. Heads up. It will be the second Friday of crab season and summer solstice. second to the last day of Cancer season's first decan. The moon will shift from waxing in Scorpio to waxing in Zodiac House 9, that's Ochosi and Oya energy, the Archer being of Ochosi, House 9, Oya number, and that's all going to be on the waxing moon tomorrow night. And Sagittarius is kind of a daredevil sign. That's why a lot of people can't deal with them, but they remind you to always aim your arrows high. So, tomorrow night will be a good time to do prayers, manifestations on aiming higher. That deals also with some exhaust from the Jupiter energy. So, we have Jupiter energy tonight, and we got a little bit of Jupiter energy to work with tomorrow. So, still stay ever active in manifesting your plans for expanding the beautiful kingdom to come. We all know which one we're talking about. I'm Mayansa J. Muse, and this is your nightly mystic forecast. Beam up. A question on the heart is the spirit's thirst for clarity. Readings, consultations, I call them intuitive counseling sessions, but you know what I mean. They're kind of like gumbo or peach cobbler. You may have tried many, but you haven't had mine. I can say I met the divine when I was about 9. Ever since I was 16, I found myself wondering, do I have an invisible "please come tell me your business" sign taped to my forehead? Then one day I was sitting at the bus stop at a crossroad, and I had the audacity to ask the goddess, why was I even sent to earth? And I became an ethereal, intuitive counselor. And the universe has been answering that question over and over again, one phone call at a time, for the last 9 years. From there, in between sessions, I began to relentlessly apply, align, and study the ways of the stars and of the ancients. 3 years in, Orisha priestesshood to Oya came knocking. Hence the Iya in the name Iyansa J, Iyansa, an Oya praise name. Oya is the Orisha who brings radical transformation and change. Make no mistake about it now, baby. I am no soothsayer. I am no fortune teller. I'm not a private investigator. I don't cast love spells. I'm not an emotional punching bag. I'm not a spiritual trash dump. I am not a haven for jinn spirits. I give guidance with clarity, with wisdom, with love, with truth. I unlock keys to your spiritual growth and your highest destiny according to your unique design. Ready for some evolutionary change? Let's talk. And we're back. So it's 10 minutes outside your 10 o'clock hour Central Standard Time, and time for me to wrap up tonight's forecast. So those of you who are watching from Facebook and YouTube and my Instagram, then by all means, please beam up to the mothership and join me for 2 hours of old school love music and my vision of what love looks like. Divine masculine Shango father style. And ain't nothing like when a good man sang to you. Oof, I tell you the truth. After that, when the clock strikes 12, we will go into solar plexus, sleep meditation to usher you on in to Friday's loving energy. And remember, the sky is big enough for us all to be stars. And in the words of the great George Clinton, free your mind and your ass will follow. This has been your nightly mystic forecast. I am my Aunt J Muse. Thank you and good night. I'm going to end this with a song that I like to play. It's a little sexy, and it's music from Freddie Jackson from the Death by Temptation soundtrack, All Over You. I'm Mayonsa J. Muse, and this is 222.9 The Mothership. Beam up. Every day is special. Why not find out mystically how? This is the forecast on your Mystic Music Haven on the airwaves, 222.9, The Mothership. Beam up.